Strive for improvement, time for the blueprint. Mindset elevate, thrive and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. We've only scratched the surface, know this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up, let's grow.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. Guys, today I'm excited. We have somebody that's been wanting to come on for a while and has finally found time to drive down from Palm Beach with all the crazy projects he has going on. We have John with Palm Beach Outdoor. What's the full name? Palm Beach Outdoor Design Group. Man, guys, you got to jump on his Instagram. It's Palm Beach Outdoor and Design Group, and check out what these guys do. These guys have another level of just everything. They touch everything, hardscape, landscape, everything outdoor, lighting, patio, barbecue, pavers, travel team, the whole nine, bringing what is landscaping and hardscape to another level. Their clientele is the top 1%. So they got to really bring it and really bring the fire each and every day that they step outside of the office. So, Joe, I'm excited for today's podcast, my brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming down, man.
Yeah. No worries, man. We're happy to be here, and it's been a while since I've been down in Homestead. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff down here.
Oh, yeah. It's just field after field after field, and you can get overwhelmed easily.
Yeah,
so.
I call this the motherland of horticulture, of plants.
I think isn't it where everything kind of just grows and they ship to the Northeast? They ship to.
So what I found out being on the FNGLA on the boards and stuff is that we ship 85% of tropical plants throughout the nation. Yeah. They either start here or they come and get imported here from South America, from China, from Japan, Taiwan. They get here and then they either cultivate them and grow them out, or they go straight from here babies across the country. Yeah. So we have you're in the motherland, dude. We play a huge part in what is plants around the nation.
Right. And it's funny how, the price of plants down here can, be a little less, and as it trickles north, it gets more and more and more. Yeah. Because, where I'm from in New Jersey originally, it's like a 3-gallon plant would be like $25-30.
Wow.
It's like, what? When I go up there to my aunt and uncle's house, go to a garden center, and I'm looking, and it's a 3-gallon boxwood, and it's like $35. Yeah. I'm like, gosh,
for $10,000 you don't get much. No, you get one island.
No, man. So it's really great to be here. You guys have a nice operation.
Thank you, man.
I have been dying to get on this thing. So am I jealous that John and Alex from shout out John and Alex,
shout out boys,
the Naples crew over there, my boys, they beat me to it, but I'm here. So
they beat you to it, but you're here, man. That's what makes it happen, man. No, we're here. Man, I want to start off with why the outdoor industry, why the landscape, hardscape industry, and I want to start off from there, and then we're gonna go into it. But we'll start off right there. Why and how?
Well, I mean, ever since I was young, I could always remember, growing up in New Jersey. We moved down to Jupiter in 2005.
Okay.
But when I was up there, instead of I was a big lacrosse player, but I'd be in school and I'd be thinking about my dad getting a load of mulch and I wanted to go put it down.
Yeah. That's funny.
Who thinks that?
Yeah, me too.
I'm bizarre. Yeah. I loved cutting the lawn. I mean, I would start cutting the lawn and I remember 4th grade. Yeah. Right. So I always loved working outside. I would have friends over and I'd be outside. And they would come to hang out with me.
Yeah.
And then said they would hang out with my brother. It was nutty. So, I've always loved to work outside. I knew that it was something I wanted to do. And when I was in high school, I was like, do I do the, stay at home thing, go to school and work, find what I wanted to do. And I remember my mom said, Palm Beach State, I heard, has a horticulture program. You love working outside. So I checked it out, fell in love with it, took classes there and ended up getting my bachelor's from there as well.
Oh, so was that it was a college?
Yeah, Palm Beach State College. At the time, it was Palm Beach Community College in Palm Beach Gardens. And then when I was there, they changed to State College. Yes. Okay. And then they had a bachelor's program too. So I ended up getting my BA in business management. It was okay. I didn't honestly learn much. Sorry,
yeah.
But the horticulture classes were were great.
Impactful.
Yeah. I mean, I had, the landscape architect I ended up working for was one of my professors.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. My professor, Dr. Rogers, the guy is like the king of plant knowledge, wrote books, and he was my professor, and I just soaked up every ounce of knowledge that I can get. Yeah. So I kind of knew what I, wanted to do. And went to work for, like I said, for this landscape architect, Palm Beach Island, and then worked for Terracon Landscape for a little bit.
Terracon's a big landscape company, guys.
Yeah, and they do a really nice job in Jupiter. So, and with Terracon, I was inside and outside, so I was getting exposure to everything. Maintenance crew. I mean, my first day there, I was raking leaves on the median on US 1 in Jupiter at like 7 a.m. in 95-degree weather. Yeah. And I was like, what am I doing? But it made me humble. Yeah. It really did. And I have so much appreciation for, those guys, my guys, like, because,
blue collar workers.
As a business owner, like, I can't, do what they do. Yeah. I jump in there often. Like, I think I am different than other people where I do get my hands dirty because I want to, and I am a little bit of a perfectionist, so I'll get in there and show them what to do. But it was tough, but it really taught me, and I kind of learned all these different aspects of the landscape side. And then, that just morphed into me finishing up school and my dad saying, Joe, we should start something. Let's just, start something while you're finishing up school and see where it goes. So we did that. It was called JMJ Landscape, and we did the whole maintenance thing, the installation, design, install, maintain. And I really liked it. I did not like the maintenance, I'm not gonna lie. So we had a couple maintenance accounts, and I just would have that, elderly lady. We'd be jumping out of the car, and she'd already be outside complaining about something, and I just
that's for $50.
Yeah, it was like I think $300 a month, and she was a nice older lady, but I was like, every week I'm here, and it's just the same thing. I want to focus on where's the money too, unless you're like a Rude, a Jenkins, some of the big companies that I'm surrounded by. Where you're doing these big estates on Jupiter Island, Palm Beach Island, where you can charge $1,000 to $50,000 a month.
Yeah, for maintenance.
Then you either have to be the production, doing the big HOA contracts, Abacoa, all these communities.
So bring in that type of
admirals, yes. And there's nothing wrong with those guys either. I'm just not a production person.
Yeah.
So I don't, I never been that type. I like, methodically one thing at a time kind of. So we just kind of wanted to just do the installs, and then
so you picked and choose. I have a couple questions real quick.
Yeah.
One, do you feel like working at that architect firm and then also at Terracon, you feel like that was more of a university for you to prepare you to go out on your own, or university by itself prepared you to get into, let's say, what you're doing today?
That's a really good question, Willie. I thought about this too, because my wife and I are, expecting a baby.
Yes,
so
congrats. Thank
you. Free labor coming in a couple of years.
Free labor. Yeah. That's the most expensive labor.
Yeah.
A lot of prepaid payments.
Yeah. But like, I've even thought about it too. Like, would you send your kids to college, or you just have them work? I probably would have them send them to college, because like my brother went away to college on a lacrosse scholarship, and it was literally the best time of his life. And I would go hang out with him because, I wanted to experience that college lifestyle. So I'd go up and be with him for a weekend. But, you learn a lot out in the field, and the landscape degree that I have and all those classes definitely taught me a lot. Botany, plant ID, landscape design, all these different ones I took, landscape construction. We had a class where we did field trips to all these different nurseries, and
that's cool.
Yeah, I learned a lot just from that. But I would say it was working for those guys. It was a university, especially being out in the field, learning how to properly plant plants. The other big thing that taught me a lot was, I got involved in F&GLA.
Okay.
And then I ended up getting I think it's 5 or 6 now. Everything,
Certificates.
Technician, contractor, maintenance, judge, which that was funny. I just certified judge to judge an exam. And then I think designer was the last one. Okay. So I got all 5, but like, especially the landscape technician one. Oh man, that was a tough exam. I'm not going to lie. Like, having to operate a Bobcat, everything was on a time crunch, and it was in the middle of August. And
so they put you through so F&GLA has all these different things that can teach you stuff. You feel like that was something that helped you propel forward or gives you credibility?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then just also, I'm the type of person that, I ask a lot of questions. And I probably drive a lot of people crazy with the amount of questions that I ask, but that's just my nature. You learn a lot when you ask. And even at when I was working at Terracon or, with my buddy Dustin, I'd ask a lot of questions. And if I didn't know, or if he didn't know the answer, I would be like, I got to find out the answer on my own. So yes, to answer your question, for sure, that those definitely helped me, understand the business and grow. But really, trial and error, as probably anybody can say, that's the biggest thing, and just being out in the field and learning on your own too.
Yeah. No, and starting your own business too. Like, you think you're prepared, and you're never prepared. That's why you really just have to go. And not like overthink it, because you'll never start it because you're never going to know.
No.
I learned things. I'm 14 years in on my own thing, and I learn something new every single day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely. And then which we'll talk about, how we, changed our company eventually.
Oh, yeah,
that's a whole different learning curve.
Yeah. So I have two more questions.
Yeah.
Because we might get off the topic later on, and I don't want to come back to it. So you said that you were cutting lawns. And this is something I want you guys to hear. So you were cutting lawns. You were tired of dealing with old Betsy Ann for $300 a month, and you wanted to jump into something that actually brought revenue. How did you go about, or what was your thought process during that time of figuring out where you wanted to be exactly in the green industry, the marketplace, and how did you attack that to reach, that clientele within that period of time?
So it is kind of a long story.
Just make it short.
No. I'll do my best.
Well, it's gonna be a 5-part episode, guys.
Yeah, 5-part episode. So, we did installs. I was doing that for a while, but I honestly never really I was into the business. I had both feet in, but maybe there was part of my foot that sticking out.
Mm-hmm. Meaning what?
That I knew what I wanted to do, but I just couldn't figure out how do I get to the big boys? How do I grow? And I just and obviously make money and be successful.
That's the toughest thing.
I was trying to find my niche, right? I knew people that were doing certain things, designing, and I had that design background too. So I knew I kind of wanted to go design. But then, my parents ended up doing a big house renovation. I was kind of running that project too for them. And then I didn't get out of the business, but I got into doing real estate for a little bit.
Okay.
And that was right before, way before COVID, but I thought that's what I wanted to do.
Real estate.
And they made it everybody makes it look easy selling real estate, and it's not.
Oh, the competition's way more fierce.
Yeah. It's not easy at all. And it was oh wow, it's easy. You can make money real easy, and this and that.
Sell this house.
Yeah, and it's a cutthroat business, and I'm not a cutthroat person. And I had one instance where I was it was actually with a Miami broker. And she was just not a nice person, and I was like, "This is not for me."
Okay,
so
that's good that you had that experience.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, of course,
because it got you where you are now.
Yeah. So I just was like, "This is not for me." And then, really talking with my dad, who's my partner, and now my brother works for us, but really my wife too. She was, she's in a nonprofit. And I remember I'll never forget it. We were sitting down in the car having a long chat. This is probably 3 years ago. and she basically told me, get your head out of your rear end, and because we hadn't gotten engaged yet, but it was coming. And then getting engaged and getting married really just lit a fire under my rear end.
Shout out to the wife. What's your wife's name? Brittany. Yeah. If it wasn't for you, you see, every good man,
that's right, needs
a solid woman next to him that whoops him in place.
Yeah, this is now gonna cost me, this episode. So, yeah, that's just it's gonna cost me now saying all that.
Well, she basically forced you to do what you knew you had to do, but you were, let's say, too scared to acknowledge it or actually go, and she forced you. It's either, hey, you're either gonna go do this, or we're gonna, we gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
So it forced you to actually go because she saw it in you.
Right. No, it totally. And I've always had the big thing is I have the best parents in the world, the best brother in the world. My dad has always been there, for me and my brother. And he's always someone that we can bounce stuff off of. He's more the business side.
Okay.
But I've really tried to figure out hey, what's something that nobody's doing. We had got involved in hardscapes and pavers because people would ask us, hey, we're doing a landscape install. Can you put these stepping stones in, or can you do a small brick paver patio before marble and travertine was popular? Yeah, sure, we can do it. So we would do it. And then, I knew I wanted to do design. I've always loved the drawings. I'm an ADHD person. I'm not going to lie. I've always just been all over the place, can't sit still. But when I found out when I did landscape drawings, I'd sit down at a table and be drawing
for 2 or 3 hours.
I wouldn't move for four hours. Yeah. My parents would be like, "What the heck?
What's he still in there?"
Yeah, exactly. So I knew I loved the design aspect. So then I was like, okay, let me get this program, Structure Studios.
A lot of boys use that.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, they're behind the times a little bit. They need to honestly get their stuff together.
Structure Studios,
yes,
you heard that?
You need to get your stuff together.
From one of your users that sits there for 4 hours on the program.
Yeah. Oh, I sit there a lot longer. But yeah, they need to get their stuff together.
I would love to have them on a podcast. Yeah. Structure Studios.
Yeah. It's a great kind of all-in-one. It's CAD, SketchUp, Lumion, kind of all put together, but they don't have every plant asset. They don't have the video card like Lumion and some of these other programs, these texturing programs. But it's really good because you can really give the client a visualization of what the product's going to look like, the ability to make changes, and that's kind of my spiel that I tell everybody. So I knew I wanted to do design, and then I started just doing designs and just dabbling around with Structure Studios.
You just doing it on your own, not for a client.
Not for a client, just on my own. I honestly took a couple months to really get confident in all. And I was talking with John at Rise and saying picking his brain, and I was taking the online classes that they have and all. And then I had I'm a lacrosse player. I've always been a lacrosse coach. I had this one family come and say, hey, we want to redo our backyard. We want to design it. I never forget it. Shout out Dave Fight. He said, we want to take a hand grenade to our backyard and blow it up, because they lived in this nice, kind of higher end neighborhood, but 0 lot line.
Okay.
So it was a small space, but you can do a lot of things. Okay. Came up with a budget, but I designed. That was really my first project. And we did turf, because then, we started getting involved in the turf when everybody's at home doing these backyard remodels, saying, hey, do you do turf? Do you do this? Do you do that? So we did that job, and I was like, man, we just did a $40,000 project.
Wow.
Encompassing everything. And we literally got down to the dirt of the yard and now installed pavers, landscaping, and turf. I really need to
take this to
the next level. Yeah. I took, so I don't know if that's something you want to touch on next, but we've rebranded.
The whole rebranding thing, that's crazy, and that's something I want to touch on, because there's a lot of we've talked about rebranding,
not rebranding, but
a different name and stuff like that, to change things up, make it more catchy, make it more towards what it is today.
Logo rebranding.
Logo rebranding. Talk to us about that, because that's something that you got to overcome a lot too, to actually do it. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. So we were, JMJ Landscape. And, like, I just saw the writing on the wall that there is a need for someone that when someone's doing a backyard remodel or whatever it is, even like new construction, they, the contractor or whomever, homeowner, can have somebody there, because we all have busy lives. I don't just deal with people that are retired, even though like Jupiter is a very retired, snowbird area. Now we're getting it's a lot of younger people too. When I first moved there, it was a lot of older people, but it's gotten so built up.
Jupiter Island is a very, very wealthy.
Oh,
very, very
Tiger,
wealthy.
and we have so many celebrities: Tiger Woods, Ricky Fowler, Brooks Koepka, all the golfers, Michael Jordan. So it's a very high end area. But I knew I wanted to do the whole design build thing, and then offer several different services for somebody like either a snowbird or just a regular contractor or a homeowner that's busy, where I'm handling everything. So
You're looking out for your client.
Yes, exactly. So we rebranded. I can't say because then my dad will say, "What the heck? You forgot about me and my brother." I know. I can just hear him right now. He corrects me all the time. I thought it was we. So sorry, Dad.
Shout out to Dad, man.
Yeah, Big Joe. Yeah, we rebranded and we changed the name from JMJ Landscape to Palm Beach Outdoor Design Group. Now, why the Palm Beach? Why the Outdoor Design Group? Well, Palm Beach is obviously in Palm Beach Island. Not that we do some work over there, but that's a whole different kind of realm. And we just did a job last week over there. But like Palm Beach County, and I didn't have so much intent to like, the algorithm and this Palm. I just like the name, and then Outdoor Design Group is everything outdoor, and you're designing it. It's a group of services. So I kind of liked it. We went with it, and we just did a name change, which I didn't even know you could do, as far as with Sunbiz. So our accountant did it. It took actually like 6-7 months to get the name changed.
Oh, for real? That
to
long?
go through the state, yeah. So it took a while, but we rebranded, and then since that job that I did.
That we did.
Sorry. See? Thanks, Willie. Yeah. Since that job that, we did, it has just absolutely like taken off like wildfire.
And that's a job in
That's the job we did in Gardens for this good family friend of ours that I coached their kids in lacrosse.
Okay, so since you did that, and
Since
that was
I
how
did
long ago?
That was a little more than a year ago.
Okay, so this is all more recent.
This is
all
more,
of the
this
big
recent.
moves.
And what's funny is that it took Willie a little while for we as well.
Yeah, it took me a while to say we too.
Yeah, I just I never, I just never had. I always had a foot in, like I said before, but like there was part of me that just wasn't sure and just really couldn't find the niche. I could not find my niche, and we found something that works. So for those who don't know kind of what we do, basically we morphed into more of an outdoor living company. People, I don't get the phone calls. Oh, can you put a pallet of sod in my yard or a couple trees? I just say, sorry, it's too small for us, or I'm just not interested. I'll do it,
If it's a recent, like a past client.
Yes, or like we just did a big pool deck with pavers and turf last week, and I had to put a porta-carpus hedge in.
Yeah, so you went back to do it.
Yeah, so we were there. We just did a little simple 8-foot wall porta-carpus. So I'll do stuff like that, but our big thing is the outdoor living design build. Yeah, on our shirts it says outdoor living design build. Yeah. Those are two key components.
It's crazy how you went from cutting grass, $300 Betsy Ann.
Yeah, a little install. I used to think like an $8,000 install was a big. I'm like, oh my gosh,
deal.
Yeah,
but that's just goes to show.
Which there's nothing against. Don't get me wrong. Like if you're spending $8,000 or like there's a job that guy.
No,
has,
that happens. We get calls to deliver plants, and far away, and it's 100 plants, and it's it's $500, and I tell them, hey, do that. I can't.
Right.
I can if we do a stop, but you gotta wait you got to wait for us to have availability to go up there. And it's not that you're not grateful. It's just that there's there's way bigger things going on because you've lifted off to that. But it's funny to me that you were there, and now in just a year you got that $140,000 job. You guys banged that out. You shocked yourselves on that. Of course you can do it.
Because it was a complete backyard transformation. When people take these production style houses that have a small patio, grass up against it makes no sense to me. It's
they leave it plain Jane.
Yeah, it's bananas. Like I don't and I get like it's a builder, so like it's the community might be 1,000 houses, right? So
basically
so basically with 2 trees in the backyard.
The 3 Alexander palms
for code, whatever. But that right there's your niche. So now you found your niche has become everything in the outdoor space.
Oh yeah, because we even like when we're doing turf, we get involved in I have great irrigation guy that I work with, but like we're getting involved in irrigation because we have to cap heads and move stuff and this and that,
and it's easier to do it right there on the spot.
Yeah, so and a lot of people don't think about that too, but we just really focus on the outdoor living design build. So, my dream client, not that I don't have this, I had 2 appointments yesterday that it was like a dream client, blank canvas.
Wow.
So when you come to, us and say, hey, I want to do a backyard remodel, what does it entail? What can we do? What am I going to be faced with here? I always say, we need to do a design. I have a design fee, and it's really fair. And I actually credit that design fee back
to the invoice.
If you move forward with the build.
Yeah.
Some guys don't do that. It's just an incentive for our clients.
Which design fees are crazy. I in one day, this was one day, like 2 hours apart. I'm on the phone with one guy, and he's telling me how he's charging this guy $1,500 for a design, and that he's complaining about it. And on the same day, 2 hours later, I'm on the phone with someone else talking about how they just charged $350,000 to do a design.
$350,000.
$350,000. Yeah, this is a house that's been in magazines and everything. The landscape company ended up doing it. We supplied all the product to Ace. And I can't talk about it yet because it's not out yet.
I was going to ask you. I think I know
when it's out. Yeah. When it's out, I can talk about it.
We'll talk off air.
Yeah. But very, very interesting how just that alone, and like in your eyes, you said blank canvas and a sparkle happened. I don't know if you guys saw that sparkle, but that's what fuels you. You love that. I can see that in you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I love the blank canvas, and we've done so many projects this year where it's been design where I meet with the clients initially. Most of the projects, I'll kind of give a brief kind of rundown. I'll get called, because we do landscape, hardscape, pavers, stonework, fireplace chimneys, fire pits, driveways, pool decks. I work with some really good pool contractors that will.
You guys do pergolas, patio stuff.
Yep, all that stuff. Lighting. And then the artificial turf's really big too. That's like one of our main things. The putting greens, so we really handle and encompass it all. And this is probably the biggest thing that I've found that's successful for us. And everybody really likes that we kind of are what we are, if that makes sense, because they're dealing with one person, me, right? We're doing the turf, the pavers, the landscape,
the whole thing.
The lighting. If we're doing a brand new install, like a new construction, like I work on a couple spec houses right now, irrigation. So I have my irrigation guy put in a whole new system, and we're doing the pavers, turf, landscape, lighting. So it works out really well for us, but then also the homeowner or the contractor. Some of these builders that I'm hooked up with, they've got so much stuff going on the inside of the house, MEPs and just, or worrying about cabinets and all. They know, and this is not really me tooting my own horn, but they know, hey, Joe's gotten in control on the outside. If he didn't design it, if I didn't do it, because a lot of times they'll have a landscape plan already from a landscape architect. I'm in full control and I have it handled. But if I am designing, if I did do the design, which we did this big job up in North Palm, shout out Simon Contracting, Dylan, my man. He built a beautiful house on the water. That was a huge project. That was my biggest project I've ever done. Brand new construction. I designed that from scratch. Everything on the outside. We did the turf, the landscape, the pavers.
You're linked up with this construction group?
Yep.
So what's dope is that they don't have to worry about that. And then they found you. So you're like their angel that they can throw you a Hail Mary.
We've kind of teamed up together. This other company, Banyan Construction, who's doing a lot of spec houses down in West Palm. So it's good. And it's about, and they're younger guys too. Mm-hmm. It's about just building relationships too. My dad and my brother and I had never been the type to just like go in there, do a job and then just
leave.
Yeah, just we're going through the motions, right? That's not us. I had a past client said they wrote on my Google review, Joe comes as a contractor, leaves as a friend.
That's nice.
And that, like, I say that true with clients. You come as a client, you leave as a friend. Because I want to develop a relationship.
Of course, man.
Long after we do the work.
No, and then the people you're working for, dude, they're in the top 1%. So they're connected to the sky. And it's like that. Those are the friends you want to have, Not those are the great friends to have because they create opportunities for you. Right. Even if it's going and talking to somebody or talking to a kid or whatever it may be, they can create opportunities for you that you wouldn't have if you didn't have them as a friend.
Right.
You want to have that door open.
Right.
So we have a question we ask everybody. What do you see for the future of the green industry? Meaning what you do and, think more abroad as well. Mm-hmm. And then the youth. So
you say like us or like the industry in general?
Like from what you know and what you've touched in the green industry, you've been involved in the FNGLA, you've been on other platforms and boards and this and that. Like, what do you see for the future of the green industry? Do you know what's going on in the county? Are they trying to cut stuff out, cut out the farmer? Like what do you see for the future of this industry long term? Right. And what would you say to someone that could have been or that might be in your shoes 5-10 years ago, old Joe, that was doubtful and what you've been able to accomplish today just going for it?
I would say, the world that we're living in now, the way things are, it's definitely not easy. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I would say that the business that we're into, like real estate, it's local in nature. Mm-hmm. That's one of the characteristics of real estate. So what happens in New York or California isn't necessarily going to affect here. Mm-hmm. Plus where we are, everybody I feel like is moving to Palm Beach County. It's insane.
Yeah. If you guys are enjoying the content that we're putting out here on the Plant Movement Podcast, make sure to subscribe and follow, giving us a 5-star review. It really goes a long way. Also, share it with someone that can benefit from this content. As always, we want to continue connecting you with people in the green industry. And make sure you get in touch if you want to jump on the podcast. Let's go.
A house that was bought $800,000, a year ago might be, 1.2. Mm-hmm. So
just a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, I might be embellishing that a little bit, but still, I mean, it's crazy.
No, it's true.
Yeah. So I think that as far as like the green industry, sometimes, do you worry about, hey, what happens, what's going to happen in, November, or what's going to happen in the future? Is there going to be another 2008, 2009, whatever? If there is, I don't know how much of an effect that's going to have on where we are.
Yeah, because you're in Palm Beach.
Exactly.
You're in like a money capital.
Those people are still going to spend money. Granted that, things might get scaled back, and I really hope they don't. Mm-hmm. But you always got to just think about that. I'm not saying that there's a piano over my head and there's a clock attached to that, Mm-hmm. But, you have to think about that. It's getting competitive. We were talking before about, there's a lot of guys out there that, don't have a license, don't have, just have a pickup truck, that will kind of just go to a client that say, hey, I could do it for really cheap. But we have a lot of expenses with our company and insurances and
and you have a brand and a name to
yeah,
back you up.
and that's a thing. Like,
Price is not everything.
no, and that's like the big thing. A lot of clients, well, not really clients, people that I go and talk to, I give them an estimate. They focus on PRICE. And I tell them, if you're gonna just focus on price, you and not quality, you probably want to go with that guy that has a pickup truck and he's there to feed his family. Like I am the biggest supporter and advocate of those guys, because this world wouldn't be there without them. But if you want quality, go with us.
Yeah, and don't look at the price.
Yeah, because and where we might not be the cheapest, I'll be the first to admit that. But what you're gonna
you don't want to be.
No, what you're gonna get is quality, and it's hard sometimes for people to. And I know a lot of my peers go through the same thing. It's just hard to convince a client of that. I've gotten a lot better selling myself, our brand, our products, our work. I take clients by job sites. I'm like, hey, jump in the truck with me.
Let me show you what's going on over here.
Yeah. And I think that sells people a lot too. Seeing our work, like even if it's in the middle of construction, I'll have them do a job walks, job site walk with me, and it has a lot of benefits.
How many times do you contact a customer once they say let's go? You contact them just to tell them, hey, we're gonna be here tomorrow and on Wednesday, and you don't ask too many questions.
One of my biggest things is communication, especially like down here in South Florida. I'm not in the business of building pools, but we brush up against it because we do a lot of paperwork. People always said when I first moved down here, the pool business has a bad reputation. People don't call you back and all. I've witnessed that firsthand. I've had horror stories that I've been told. I've seen them.
Every industry has
every industry, but like for some reason the pool business.
It's just worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
It can't get
that's
more
not me saying that. All my pool contractors that I work with, that's the guys that I have relationships with are all really.
You
good.
found the top 20% of guys that actually come through.
Yes, exactly. But I get people say, "Oh, thank you so much for calling me back."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's
why?
crazy.
Why are they thanking me for calling them back?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Like, isn't that normal?
Yeah.
Like what my parents taught us. But I just think that communication is key. So I really communicate with the client, like, hey, we're going to be here the week of this. Even if we're like, I just have a job that I was scheduled out like 4 or 5 weeks. And I said, you're probably looking at sometime this week. But I constantly am in communication with that client.
Letting them know.
Once a week, like, hey, I just ordered tile. Hey, this, hey, that, and they love that because they don't live here. They live up in Connecticut.
Okay.
And, they have a house down here.
Or they have a project manager,
No.
nobody?
Honestly, this one, they don't. Sometimes they do, like a property manager or whatnot, but no. And we've built a good, I would guess, client relationship where, they trust me, and like we'll meet on site like right before we start the project when they're in town. But other than that, no. I mean, but when people are here, I'm constantly meeting with them. And then when we're doing the job, and this is, I would say, another big thing about us is in terms of our success, I'm on the job with my guys, or my brother is. We're checking on them, 3 times a day, 2 times a day. Sometimes they might think I'm babysitting them, but it's not really babysitting. It's, if there is going to be a problem, I want to catch it early, so that at the end it doesn't become an issue from us, the client, or
for them,
it just
one problem can be 10 grand.
like or change orders, and obviously on a lot of jobs there's change orders and stuff, but if you can reduce that, it's going to be a win-win. Like this recent pool deck area that we did, once we pulled the pavers up, it was, and we set our coping was set, it was in the corner was way lower. I kind of knew it was going to be a problem, but I was like, I don't think we need to do like a retaining wall or anything to hold the basin. Well, we ended up having to do a little block retaining wall, and it was a change order for the client. But I communicated with him very openly, and he said, "Joe,
Do what you got to do.
do what you got to do, man."
But that you had already finished it and saw the dip.
Yeah,
And then
we did
so
the
you had to
demo,
go
and I
do
knew
it again.
right. And I just, I even told my guys, I was like, could we get away with like not doing it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's what makes us stand out, Willie, is that I'm gonna always go the extra mile.
Mm-hmm. Do it right.
Yeah, do it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get phone calls, and I don't want to get phone calls a year, 2 years down the road where this happened. So, are there guys that might not do that stuff or probably cut corners, and they could be on the lower end cost wise? Possibly, yeah. They're not possibly, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not us.
Yeah, no, you guys are really doing it right, and you're there. You're
Yes.
living the dream, man. A lot of people would die to be in your shoes, just so you know. They would want all your headaches and problems and bottles of Advil, Tylenol.
Gray hair. Yeah, I've noticed a lot more gray
33
hair.
with grace. That's me, man.
Yeah, but it's really all those problems, and my dad always told me, you be your own boss.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in business for years and all. There's nothing like being your own boss.
Well, that's if you can make it successfully.
Right. No, well,
I know guys that their own bosses that they hate life. It's not for everybody.
Yeah,
man.
I just like tomorrow I'm going up to my in-laws in Tennessee for just a long weekend. Like if I was working for somebody, I don't know that I could necessarily do that.
Yeah.
But it's just it's finding what works.
Mm-hmm. The balance.
Yeah.
And value your time as well.
Right.
Time is a lot more. Now that you don't have a kid, but when you have a kid, you're gonna see how valuable time really is.
Yeah.
For real, because they're gonna grow up real quick, and you want to at least be a part of the majority of it, which is hard because your head's gonna be. You're about to go through a whole life changing experience right now.
Right. No, I
So
know.
get ready. That I've talked to
yeah.
a bunch of boys about it. Me myself, I went through it, where it's a transition of this. Your company's your baby. What you got going on is life. There's no work-life balance. It's I gotta go. I have so many things going on, and you don't shut it off till your brain shuts off when you go to sleep.
Right.
But now you're gonna have a kid to get in, put in the mix. Priorities shift, and if they don't shift, then someone will tell you. I don't want to get you in deeper water.
Yeah.
Someone will tell you that they have to shift, which is good. And then you start looking for time.
Right. And a lot of that, I have honestly faced recently, past couple months, where I'm out the door early, and then sometimes I'm not coming home till
Late.
7 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
8 o'clock. Yeah, I know that's one of those things that is part of being a business owner, but I know I got to do a better job of
Delegating.
shutting it off.
Oh, shutting off. Yeah.
Shutting it off. Because even when I get home, my brain's still going.
No, but you can't shut it off, dude. There's no trick for that.
I know.
There's no trick. The only thing that I feel like has worked for me is putting my faith in people, and giving them the opportunity for me to trust them 100% and let them do it. So I delegate that, which buys me time, which means I need to make more money to be able to have those people on. But if the money's coming in, and instead of putting in your pocket or bettering your lifestyle or whatever, it's like, no, let's build all this so the lifestyle can be endless and we can really go hard and have fun.
Right.
But first, it's putting it back into that. I look at people as a huge investment. You think of assets, you think of real estate, or you think of inventory, or for you guys, it might be trucks, or it might be a warehouse, or it might be something like that as an asset, your house, or a vacation home you can Airbnb. Those are all assets you can touch, but one of the biggest ones for me is people, because without people you can't really scale, and you can't really do much. You're literally limiting yourself.
Right, and we wouldn't be in the position if it wasn't for our guys and our team.
Yeah.
Because they make not only my life and my dad and my brother's life easier, but they're the ones who are out there building this product and the brand
through what you guys thought of. You have created opportunities for them, and if you think about it, these guys, they're working outside, whatever, it's all hard work. That's the green industry. Sorry, Charlie, it isn't much easier than that. It's gonna be hard work. You're gonna get dirty, it's gonna be hot. That's what it is. We're in Florida. They get to go to $40 million homes, $30 million homes. They get to see the pool. They get to see the yacht in the backyard. So like if any one of them are really, they have that spark to really grow and do something for themselves in the future, or even want to grow what you have going on, think about the inspiration that can come to their brains. It's like you going to an empty canvas. Your mind goes crazy. You're like a kid at Toys R Us. That is what could happen to them. And now you are creating something, you know, giving them that opportunity to just have that vast mind and be in areas that they wouldn't be in if they were working somewhere else.
Right.
So that's a big part of it.
I saw that kind of firsthand, and one of my guys actually recently said, you know, he's going to kind of start his own little thing and start, you know, his own little maintenance business. And I'm all for that. I'll miss him. But
is he really good?
Yeah, he's good.
So you know what I would do?
Yeah. What? Pay him more money?
No.
What?
So for me, when I have somebody that really wants to go, so I am no one to hold someone back from what God has in store for them.
Yeah,
They have their own dreams that their position, or let's say my business, isn't capable to fund it, right? But I can create ways to fund it. Okay, so it's like, here we go. Here's an idea. Your boy wants to go do lawn maintenance, and he's a monster. The guy with an edger, he keeps everything perfect. He's learned from the university of working for you guys. Bring him on. You hire him. Go, bro. Go get the machine. You already know what you need. I got 10 yards for you to do. Go help me out. Do those 10 yards because we're busy doing this over here. And now you're creating opportunities for your boy that you love. Right. You're watching him grow, and he's looking out for you. And it doesn't come out of Palm Beach's pocket. Right. It comes out of the client's pocket. Yeah. So that's one thing that I've done. I have multiple guys that they're like, boss, I want to make more money. What can I do? Start growing plants. Grow something that we don't have.
Yeah, I like that.
Grow something we don't have, so it's already sold. And I'm going to teach you how to grow it. If you don't have the money, go rent a piece of property, because you got to put in the work. Go rent a piece of property, I'll put all the money.
Yeah.
And I've done that multiple times. And it's, you know how much it's worked out? It's worked out 100% every time. And they're still on board. They still work here, and they kick butt every single day.
I like that, what you said about, you know, going to these big houses. It's an inspiration. Like
it
when
is.
we get to Palm Beach Island, that's that world there where Angie Brown, but where they have butlers, and it is like, and no one's ever experienced it. It is just unbelievable. It's a pain to work over there, but like the people pay very well. They're very nitpicky. I'm not gonna lie. But you know, you do a bang.
That's what's expected.
You do a bang up job. We did a job for, I'm not gonna say who the client is, but a very wealthy person in this high end gated community. And, you know, he's very well known. Like the look on my guy's face when they saw the house and stuff, and like we're walking in the backyard, we couldn't take photos. We couldn't, like, they were like looking at me, and I'm like,
we're here, boys.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Like, this is, even for me too. I'm like, look where we've come.
Yeah.
You know, let alone these guys that are, you know, from, you know, a different country.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You gotta stop and acknowledge it sometimes.
Exactly.
Which it's hard to do because you're focused on getting it done. But you do have to, even if it's 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And just look around and be like, dude, we're, like, for real, boys.
Yeah.
You know, like, for real. You sit down, have lunch, and you chat about it. Like, those are memories that you can only dream of, that you're living them. It's a reality, you know. And then your boys putting in the work, being on staff because they put in 100%. All these different things allow them to witness this and experience that and see what it really is out there. Like you said, the $300 and $8,000 job. Guys, there's levels to the game. There's levels in this industry that you wouldn't think of. $1 million plant orders for you guys that grow plants. Yeah, that exists. You know, like all this exists. You know, $3 million, $5 million landscape projects. That's all day. We're in Florida. They're building huge communities. That is something that exists. You just gotta, you know, understand that it does, and then try to go after it. We had a great conversation talking about that. Before we jump into anything else, I want to ask you about your social media presence, of being on social media, the IG, the high-end quality videos, you walking out talking. What has that done for your business?
I think a lot of good things. There's not a lot of guys. There's some peers that like, get in front of the camera. I'm a talker, obviously. Sitting here, you probably could tell. I'm not camera shy.
Okay.
So I like putting my face to our brand. But, I try to do a reel almost every day. I try to post a photo,
A story, something.
Yeah, everything is content now.
Yeah.
Everything is content now. And a lot of the, veterans or older companies that are in our area, they might post a photo of like flowers in there. Is that gonna... Now they have a very...
I'm proud of them for even posting.
Yeah, well, that, yes, absolutely. Like, most companies don't post.
Don't.
But when they do, it's like, okay, yeah, it looks nice. They have an established base already. Established base. But, like, throw a reel in there.
Yeah.
Do a transition, right?
Throw some money at it.
Yeah. So, I've had, this one contractor tell me, you do such a great job with social media. And I'm like, I laugh to myself because I'm like, I'm a tradul, which is, in Italian, just like, it's a kind slang for saying, a dummy, right? I just do Instagram, I'm not...
You're not a pro. Yeah.
I'm not a pro, but it's gotten us a lot of business, right? And people have told me, hey, you guys do such a great job. I see you on social media, blah, blah, blah. And we don't really advertise all that much. It's a lot of word of mouth, but then building relationships too. Like with those contractors or, when we did a job for, one neighbor. Now the neighbor across the street wants something done. In this one neighborhood in Jupiter, I've done probably 7-8 projects just this year alone. Driveways, decks, turf jobs. And it just is like I'm moving down the street, bing bong, bing bong. It's just, it's funny. Yeah. And it's, we advertise. I do some Google ads here and there and all, but I get a lot of phone calls or messages. How much do you charge a square foot at this and that?
Yeah.
Those are like the people that you don't necessarily want to.
Yeah, you want to do complete remodels.
Yeah, that's the big thing is the full backyard, front yard, the full package.
And that's the new thing that everybody's after.
Exactly.
And I feel like that started like in the boys in Vegas and Arizona.
Yeah.
In Cali is where I would see these landscapers, hardscapers on social media. That a lot of that, I'm talking 3-4 years ago, was really big over there.
Yeah.
And now it's been transitioning over here. But that's what, I have a blank canvas at my house. And that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't even want to do anything yet.
You want me to drive the 2 hours down?
Yeah,
is that what you're asking me?
No, I feel like I would have to put all my buddies' names in a hat and pick one of you boys out because everyone would get upset.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick him and not me, dude?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like I gotta get a drawing done first. So as I go spending money and throwing money at it, I do it one time. Because what I want to do, I know it's not 10 grand. I know it's probably a couple hundred.
Right.
So to do it right, I gotta do it the right way, little by little.
Right. And I probably told 3 or 4 clients in the past week this exact phrase what I'm about to say. A lot of these bigger projects too, the 50 to 100 plus maybe, which if you're going to do a full backyard remodel, you're going to be more than 50 grand probably.
Oh, way more.
And
that's minus a pool.
Oh.
Minus a pergola.
A pool, 100,
That's
100.
That's a putting green, some stone, and some landscape.
Yeah, I mean,
some
people.
turf.
Yeah, people usually ask, "Oh, what's a new deck?" It depends on material selections too. We do a lot of marble. That's our biggest thing. Travertine's kind of getting phased out. Not phased out. If somebody's on like a budget, travertine and marble aren't honestly all that different in terms of price.
Okay.
But the marble is just so freaking nice.
Yeah.
The travertine, it can hold a little more dirt and all, even if you seal it. All the wives ask me, every single one, well, is it slippery?
Yeah.
Because they want to know.
They don't want to slip.
Yeah, and then I tell them they have tumbled, which is smooth, like travertine's. Then they came out with sandblasted. That's like fine sandpaper. Then they came out with a leathered finish, which is like a leathered belt.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which that's what we like doing. Like if you follow our Instagram,
it looks the nicest.
The ice white leathered marble, the Diana Royale marble, like it's usually a leathered finish. It has a beautiful veining. So it's a material selection which determines price. Porcelain's getting really popular now too.
Okay.
I noticed porcelain that was really popular in Miami, and I feel like everything kind of starts in Miami and like moves up. Like doing the turf inlays and
That
the
was
decks
all
and
Miami.
all. That was all the Miami crowd kind of doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, people in Palm Beach would do the diamond pattern, but with real like seashore pass palm or zoysias, right? But Miami's really setting the trend for like the big squares, the rectangular kind of crazy patterns. But then you could jump to a whole different category, like the Jupiter Islands and the Palm Beaches of the Dominican corals.
Oh wow.
The
There's so
cast
many
stones.
options,
There's
man.
so many
You
options.
go crazy, bro.
Yeah.
How do you sit there? That's a lot of pressure too, like that you have on yourself to make all these decisions.
Well, it's not really me making the decisions. I kind of am like, here's option A, B, and C.
I know.
Option A, B,
It's
and
like
C is
building
going
a
to
house.
cost you X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And I always ask them usually, what's your budget? What's your budget range that you feel comfortable being in?
Yeah.
A lot of people have no idea, and that's why I say, let's do it.
Because they don't have a budget, dude.
Well,
they just want it right.
Well,
Some of them.
You'd be surprised, to be honest with you. And yeah, exactly. Like what the, 50 grand. I thought it was going to be 10.
Yeah.
Well, that's having an unrealistic expectation.
Exactly.
So that's why I always ask them. Sometimes I've had people that like, oh, I kind of know, but they don't. I had one person tell me, I'm not going to tell you.
Well,
Why wouldn't you tell me? You want me to waste your time and my time?
Yeah.
Like that is just ridiculous.
No, but you should know.
No, if someone says, hey,
Hit me in the middle,
between 50 and 100, okay,
Yeah.
then I can design something for that budget.
Yeah.
Some people who don't know, I would say, okay, I'll do a design. I always design the grandiose kind of effect,
Okay.
like full on,
Full blown.
right? Because a lot of times they'll love it and be like, and I always have, okay, this is the design, this is what you're going to get. Like, this is the price, this is the budget, right? 100K. I need to be, you need to dial it back a little bit. They talk to their, wife or husband, whatever. We really love it. Do you think we could be more around 75?
So then you start cutting things or
Yeah,
using
just start
cheaper
cutting. Yeah, you just start
products.
cutting. Yeah, you just start cutting things, material selection. But the other big thing is, I'm the type of guy. We are as a company. I will do stuff in stages. A lot of guys are not interested in doing that, which blows my mind because I'm like, in these people's backyards, they're not money trees. I've had clients tell me, oh, the guy was only interested if he did it all at once. And I was like, really? And I don't mind going back.
So you'll do the
like,
drawing and then you'll start with, all right, we have 30 grand to throw at it. All right, let's
the
do
pavers.
this. Yeah.
Let's do the pavers. Usually
Okay.
the hardscape's the first thing, right?
Yeah.
Demo, hardscape, whatever. Then we'll do
Then you
the
wait 4
landscape.
months, 6 months.
Yeah.
They had a good 6 months.
Yeah,
and
this really nice pool deck we did up in Jupiter. We did all the pavers and the turf. Well, we waited 5 months until we did the pergola.
Okay.
He said, Joe, I need time to catch up.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
You're
wrong
still
with
getting
that.
the project. You're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, want it all done once.
Yeah.
But like,
You got to be realistic too, man.
exactly.
Not everybody's
Exactly.
rich like that.
No, and yeah, but then do I get the clients that are like, yeah, I want it done. What is it going to take? Okay, 150K. All right,
Let's do it in phases.
yeah, or let's do it. I don't want to do it.
No, and that's true. That's better too that they're honest too, because I don't know how you get, let's say, the upfront payments for people, but I'll ask you now. But if they don't have all the money and they tell you they do, like, dude, you're putting yourself, they're lying to you.
Yeah,
And here you are. Let's say the deposit's 50. They give you the 50. They're broke after that. When are you going to pick up the other 50?
yeah. Well, that's we've luckily been blessed where we haven't had any issues in terms of.
You guys do notice to owners and stuff on all your projects?
Yeah, I believe you got to get at least certain situations. Sometimes on the new construction projects, we do 4 draws, whatever it is.
Okay.
Like I'll do
25.
I'll do like say like $100,000 job, right? Use that, I might sign that job 5 months before we
Start.
So I might get like a $10,000 deposit. You can get stuff scheduled. I'll tag material. If I'm doing the landscape install, I'll go tag material, or I'll place orders, hardscape, whatever it is. Then we'll have different draws in terms of, here's the next 25%, whatever. Typically on most jobs, 50 up front.
That's where you're at.
50% upon completion, or 37%, due at signing, 37 due at delivery of material / start of the job, and then balance due upon completion. So I never have somebody get ahead of me. Okay. That's one thing that my dad taught my brother and I: never let somebody get ahead of you.
Yeah, make the rules.
Yes, you make the rules. Because I have had to chase customers down for a check. Thank God I got the balance way up, or not the sorry.
You haven't got burned yet?
I got the deposit way up front. Yeah, I've gotten the deposit, up front. Because if I didn't and I had to wait the 2 months like I did, I would be really upset.
No, man, it's part of how it should be. You shouldn't have to be pulling out of your pocket to go up front something that someone wants you to do for them. Yeah. It's not your problem.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want me to do this, I need all the money to get this done.
Yeah. And I people, do you finance and stuff? We honestly don't. I've been thinking about it more and more. A lot of the
there's companies that
one of my buddies, Dolphin Pools, Shane, my little brother there, they do financing. But a pool is a big undertaking. Yeah. Usually, people will ask me, well, how much is a pool? I'm like, it depends on how big. I would just say you're instantly going to start $100,000.
Yeah, pretty close. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
The number I've heard is around 75 for like a basic pool.
A basic small pool
with
that's
with a little deck. Yeah.
A little tiny deck that's somewhat of a, not a joke, but it's small. You're going to spend a minimum of 100. So a lot of those jobs, I think, for pool contractors,
they need financing.
Financing.
That way they get all the money and it's on them.
Right. Someone that has a $20,000 turf job is not going to most likely finance that.
Yeah. Or they'll get a home equity loan on their house or whatever. Yeah, they'll be ready.
Yeah. And I've dealt with those, people, hey, I got to get, I'm good for the bank, or we just refinance, I could pull money out. We'll do the second phase.
Which is fine as long as they have the money.
Right. Like the same client that we did the pergola a couple months later. He's now going to do the whole driveway and landscape the whole front, because he worked some stuff out with his house and I don't
want to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to go through all the details, but he was able to pull some money out, I guess, and now he's able to do stuff. So I think it's just finding, what works a balance and what works for them, Yeah. But I had a lady the last week tell me, my husband's going to retire in January, and we're going to have to wait till the end of the year. I'm not going anywhere. That's fine.
Just call me.
The price is going to change. Yeah. If you think I'm going to hold to a price
in this market,
8-9 months, you forget it.
And how do you now that we're on this topic? How do you do that? You're getting jobs, like you said, 5 months out, and you got to go hold the product, tag the product. Are nurseries working with you?
Well, some that was for a pool deck on painters. Okay. I will not hold product for that long. Yeah. And especially with, if they gave me a deposit, yeah, maybe. But even my suppliers are going to be like, that's too long.
Yeah. We asked the guy the other day to hold 325 gallons for 2 weeks. And he goes, no, man.
Yeah.
Like, bro, people don't want to work with it.
Right.
They don't want to build a relationship.
Yeah, I guess it's crazy too in the plant world. One of my good suppliers, Able Tree Farm, David, my man, I guess was growing stuff for a big contractor where it was like 9-10 months in advance that he's growing this material.
Yeah, that's fine because he's growing it from
material, and it has to be a certain way.
I know David got a deposit.
Yeah.
What's up, David?
He chased after me for a payment due. No, he's one of my.
You better pay David. Or he's coming for you.
He's my really good buddy, and he grows the specialty hedge material, the cal film, Garcinias, and he just.
The stuff you're using.
Yeah, and he helps me too out with a lot of the big trees, and he's the guy who sets all my big material in terms of tree work. And they're just a really good family and great material. And when I'm just like with hardscape and turf, like we use the best quality products, everything turf wise, USA made.
Yeah. Yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah,
Bro. You don't want to get the call 5 years from now that it's faded.
No, and that's what I have to like reiterate to people. Listen, the guy who's doing it for way less is most likely buying something from China.
Yeah. That ain't going to last.
No.
And then when you call him, he's not around anymore.
Right.
Because he's doing something else now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're not using the right aggregate base that we are, or metal edging, or zigzag.
Stuff sinks
the seams, the way we do our seam work and all. No. And then same thing with plants too. Like I'm such a stickler for quality of plants. You being in the business.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah. I've some of the vendors that I work with, like they'll deliver material, and I'm like, that's not going to work. And I've rejected stuff.
No, you have to, bro.
And I just
it's part of what it is,
Yeah, that's not me. It's just, because then I have had clients say, "Ooh, those, that's a lot smaller than I thought it would be," or that doesn't look, really good quality. And I'm just like, yeah, you're right. And then it's my image, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a really stickler for quality.
That's why.
Because then I see too, like a lot of these new communities, I know they're production style houses, like the Sylvester date palms that they're putting in.
Skinny. Like
Skinny.
an Alexander.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Lethal bronzing.
Yeah, but that's
polo.
what. But they don't. It's not so much about the biggest and the best in that, aspect. It's about we got to make it look decent, and we got to get out, and we got to make money. We got to sell the house.
Yeah, production.
We got to get the CO, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
You guys are a different breed, but for you guys listening, listen to what he said. You guys that grow plants, you guys that supply landscapers like who he is. You got to come, man. And there's nothing worse than showing up, you doing all that legwork, getting all the product that he might need, and then you show up and you make him look bad. That's not looking out for your customer. And the chances of someone like that calling you back or giving you another opportunity is tough. You better fix it that day. You better tell him, hey, I got another truck on the way. And if you don't do that, it's cool. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But you lost an opportunity with a customer.
Yeah. I mean, we had that happen with a stone supplier where half the pallet, more than half the pallet, one pallet, broken, unusable. And they were pushing back on it. And I was like, no, like,
dude, you don't want to fix it? No problem, bro. Thank you, man. I love you. God bless you. Bye.
Exactly.
And on to the next one.
But you know what? They made it right.
Okay, so now you still buy from them.
And I still buy from
them. There you
go. Because that's all it is. Because, I mean, I'll give them, a couple, here's an $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 order. I know I might be like a small fish in a big pond to them, versus some of the other companies. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Does not matter. Because guess what? There might be that one day where I give them a $50,000 order or, two 25s.
For me, it's all about the reputation. So you could do 10,000 deals that you do everything perfect. But then that 10,001, you screwed it up, and that's it. People are going to remember that screw up. So you have like a little bit amount of time to fix it. And whatever it costs. Dude, I've jumped in a truck myself with 5 palms, and I've driven to Orlando.
Oh my
like
gosh.
that. Like I get the phone call, and there's no one here, and I'm like, dude, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
And I go.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters to me at that point.
Yeah.
Because my relationship with them and them coming through for their client. I'm all about my customer shining.
Yeah.
If they're not shining, I didn't do my job. So we have to be on time. The product has to be counted right. Like sometimes, it does happen. Like one big problem is roots. Stuff isn't 100% rooted. Nothing's really 100% rooted because nothing's overgrown. And the only way it gets 100% rooted is if it's kind of like overgrown already.
Yeah.
And that's something that we haven't seen in years.
And I think too, like, they say you expect to lose 10% of your plants when you do an install. 5
That's what they
10%.
say. Okay.
Yeah. That's just kind of
rule of thumb.
Rule of thumb. 5. I mean, sometimes you don't. I mean, with us, we really
sometimes
don't lose.
no.
Yeah. We planted a lot of stuff this winter.
And you had some cold nights.
And we had some really cold nights, especially where we live, because like we're just on the cusp of getting freeze, kind of.
Yeah, you're close.
So
the low 40s.
Yeah, you better believe it. That like, and we had such a cool, windy winter.
The wind helps big time.
Well, a lot of stuff I had palms fall over
from the wind.
From the wind that were braced on a couple jobs. But like when you said, you make it right. I was there like a day or two later.
Picking everything up.
Yeah.
Making it right.
Oh, making it right.
At no cost.
Yeah, it's on us.
It is what it is.
I mean,
it's not about money at that point.
It's on us. Not that it's our fault. Like they braced, properly and all.
You charge them later. Dude, I'm on my way. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of people that.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about. It's about getting the job done, and making it right. And then we'll worry about the money later.
Yeah.
It's not about money, bro.
Yeah.
It's about the relationship.
You have to, and that's like, we stand by our work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, whether it's a plant guarantee, I only warranty stuff for 90 days.
Okay. You're a smart man.
Yeah. I just felt that's
good, long enough.
It's long enough. But we don't do any maintenance. So like, it really becomes the problem, well, not really a problem, but the sole responsibility of who's ever doing the maintenance and the owner.
Give it to your boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So like, that they got to understand that, hey, what, and things are babied in a nursery. Being here in a nursery, know how it is. They're babied, right?
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you take it out of its environment.
That's it. Dude, I've gone to job sites to deliver Clusias, 45-gallon. Man, we did these from cuttings. These have been babies for 5-6 years in this nursery from a cutting. And we put them on with the tractor real nice and slow, lay them back, tie them up so everything's perfect. We get to the job site. These guys are throwing them off the trailer, rolling them, kicking them, rolling them down.
Oh, my God.
Like, dude. So I'll call the boss. I'll be like, dude, your boys are rolling the Clusias. They're just paka.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't deliver them like that. Oh, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's rough, dude.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I mean, that's just, negligence.
But that happens sometimes.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it, I mean, it just, especially with like landscape too, you got to find the right material.
Mm-hmm.
Like even, people, Sylvester day palms,
Mm-hmm.
we do a lot of Sylvester work. I try to do Medjewels where I can, push that. That's a very high end.
But it's a lot pricier. It's like 6-7 times more pricier than a Sylvester.
Yeah, but the Sylvesters, lethal bronzing is really bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a couple places in Florida, nurseries that inoculate them, drench them for lethal bronzing, but they cost more.
Yeah, but they're gonna last longer, and they're not gonna go into shock.
Exactly. So like,
you pay for what you get.
Yeah, like these Medjewels that we installed at this big project in Jupiter. Groundworks, the only real place around to get them, and Melissa and Terrell and
they're another one I would love to have on here.
Yeah,
Melissa.
Yeah, they are the kings of date palms and stuff.
In Florida. That's a palm that's real big in Cali.
Well, mine came from Cali actually. Okay. Yeah, she's like, the truck's leaving California. It'll be here 3 days. I was like,
that's
great.
cool, man.
Yeah. And then like to see it, I went down there and they're like, these are your palms, and I see their whole process. And then I adopted. They literally tell you every step. For
how to plant it. Okay.
You could bring in clean sand for the, the bottom for the top. The bottom you can use the existing, because those roots are going to die off.
Because they want it to last.
Yeah,
they want their reputations there.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't lose one freaking frond.
How many palms was it? Just one?
Just two. Just two big 13-foot CT.
Oh, that's like a 25-foot palm.
Yeah, overall 25. Oh yeah, overall was easy 25. Leave the heads up for 3 weeks, tied up. 2 bubblers on each, twice a day cycle. Drench it with Palm Saver, Super Thrive, Polystar. Didn't lose one frond.
He's giving you guys the remedy.
Yeah, I'm giving you some of the juice.
Some of the juice
that we, and it's no secret. Like, and people that are like,
but a lot of, how many people know that?
Oh, I'm sure more than me. I don't know.
No, but there's probably not a lot that know that. There's a lot less than you.
Yeah.
What you know and what you've gone through and your experiences and the classes and the courses. You know how many people do those courses at FNGLA? You know how many people even know what the FNGLA is?
Oh, I know.
Do you even know how many people even know what the FNGLA is? They're in Florida. They've been in the industry 10 years.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know what the FNGLA is? No.
Yeah. Well,
oh, they do the landscape show. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know what they actually do for you? Like, I had an idea But when I jumped on the board, for me, that really was eye-opening. That was eye-opening for me on just everything they do behind the scenes for us. They're our voice. Right. They're like first person there battling, doing what they need to do. And the FNGLA, without them, I'm glad that was founded. It's been, I think it was like 50 or 60 years it's been founded.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I know Mary Mott at FNGLA very well. Like I said, did all those certifications. I mean, the landscape show. I've met so many good vendors over the years. Nurseries.
There's a lot of us
farms. Yeah. I mean, got hooked up with the Sod Solutions crowd because I like to. I'm a big grass guy. Like I love like the specialty grasses and zoysias and Bermudas. So they have all those pallets there at the show, and I'm just like, ooh, like putting like they have ice on top to keep them cool.
Yeah.
And
where am I going to put this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like a kid in a candy store when I go to those shows, and a lot of people don't really, like you said, know about the FNGLA. And have those certifications too. I think it just kind of sets you apart slightly in the landscape.
You just mentioned that.
Right.
I've heard stories that they'll, we supply these high-end landscapers, and they've said, no, where'd you get this product from? We're holding it for them, making it bigger, making it whatever, so it stands out for them. No, I get it from my vendor. He's done this. He has a podcast, and he's on the FNGLA. Oh my gosh, you're our man. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with them, but it has to do with things that you do that are out of the box to just better yourself, and it ends up going down the line. Yeah,
or being like ICPI certified in terms of pavers, just
goes a long way.
Yeah. But then when you do that stuff, you learn
a lot, like, in the proper way.
Yeah, just like when like pavers, right? People think the sand needs to be up to the top of the paver. That's not ICPI specs. As long as there's, I forget, like on a 2 3/8 inch paver, as long as it's up a certain amount,
it's enough.
It's enough.
And then you coat it at the top. You put more sand and brush it in.
And then seal it. Or if you're doing polymeric sand, which, that can be kind of problematic. But yeah, and there's those designations and those certifications, I think, really can kind of set you apart from other people. What you guys are doing here, and just like the whole overall green industry, construction industry, it might be very competitive, but there's enough work for everybody out there. And I'm learning something new every day. I that phrase, you keep your friends close, your enemies closer. There's no real enemies, because like even guys are doing the same exact thing that I'm doing, which there's not a lot of, at least where we are. But I ask them for advice. I ask them, hey, what kind of turf is that? Or,
what'd you pick up that turf?
What'd you guys do there? It's not me I'm gaining knowledge, because when they ask me, like, hey, how did you do that seam there on that turf? Or
you're giving it
how did you do that coping? Or what that design you put together? I'm going to tell them. Yeah. I'm not going to like, oh no, I'm not going to tell you, give you my secrets.
I feel like the industry has opened its eyes more, because it used to be, I come from the old school mafia, traditional, you shut up, you don't talk about nothing.
Muerto.
Yeah. So now, like, we've done this and we've opened up and talked about so many different things. I feel like that's like the newer norm. I'm seeing more of it, more of that friendly, I got you, I'm helping you out, do it like this, watch out for that guy, all those type of things that back in the day wasn't, so traditional. It was more kept inside.
Right. And that's, and I think what makes us stand out is we're doing the design. Like, that's the big thing, design, and then the build process, whether that's turf, landscape, pavers, this and that, or just a 2-service turf and landscape, something simple, that because where I come from in New Jersey, there are guys that are the landscapers up there, right? They're doing the pavers, the landscaping in the summer. They'll do
up there seasonal.
It's seasonal. So like when I was down here and be like, oh, there's a guy only doing pavers, and then there's a guy only doing turf,
and they do it all year long.
Landscape. Like, I'm like, why can't you just do all that? Like, wouldn't a client like to have
a full service?
A full service, right? So that's kind of what was really, captured our audience, and it allowed us to grow.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things like we all touched on. Just to kind of recap, communication really key. Being
Big.
on the job. There's guys out there that are peers of mine that might show up. Their guys do the work and they don't ever go back. I know for a fact there's turf companies, not going to name names, that are big corporate turf companies. You're never going to get the owner on that job.
Yeah, it's more corporate.
Yeah.
He's more of an investor,
right.
and he plays
and it could be a
role.
different crew the next day.
Yeah,
they're going to take a picture and send it to
whoever, the next guy.
Yeah, hey boss, it's done.
Yeah.
No,
which is cool, but it's not your touch.
No,
it's not that personal.
It's not the
touch.
Palm Beach touch. And like I will personally, it could be 5:30, 6 o'clock when I do a final walkthrough after my guys leave. I'll see in turf little strains, longer blades that I pull or I cut that from the turf in the product, or on pool decks. I'll see a little scratch or chip. I'll get blue tape and I'll start blue taping. Say, guys, we got to fix it. And that's on me before the client even sees it.
Yeah.
But then obviously same thing with landscape too. I usually lay out all the plants with my guys and then turn them loose, let them go. But the landscape's
the layout's very important.
Yeah, the layout's very important. And you know how it is because you could be digging something and then you bump something and it could throw the layoff in the design.
Or the plant
completely.
as well. The plant as well has a different face. One's wider than the other one, even though the same pot size.
Yeah, something you learn at FMGLA. So yeah.
Joe, man, thank you for coming, dude. It's been a
Absolutely.
pleasure, dude. Guys, I hope you guys have learned something today. We got Joe in the house, and man, it's been an honor. Thank you for driving all the way down.
No problem.
Because I know it was a trip. Right now, we're gonna go drive around the farm. Well, maybe we grab lunch.
Yeah. Before I forget, here I got a little
Oh,
Palm
thank
Beach
you,
swag
bro.
goodie bag.
Oh, look
too.
at this.
I should have probably given that to you at the beginning. So
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. Eddie, we're gonna go through this bag.
yeah, some goodies in there.
Thank you, bro. We got a shirt for you guys.
Yeah.
We'll give one for your pops and
Awesome.
your brother too.
Yeah. No, I'd love to come back too.
For sure,
I think, and I really think too, just being in the industry, spreading knowledge. I'm sure that's stuff that John and Alex talked about too. We're young guys.
Yeah.
I want to be in this for the next 20 years, and grow. And just flourish.
Challenge yourself.
And it's
even
not
more.
kicking the old guys out. It's just I think there's time for new blood.
Yeah.
And we have something that we're really enjoying to build.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
And the party's just starting because you're only a couple years in.
That's right.
So,
That's
guys, you already know Palm Beach Outdoor Design Build, right?
Outdoor-
Design
yep.
Group. Sorry.
Yeah. Outdoor living design build.
Guys, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the episode. You already know if you want to be featured on the Plant Movement Podcast, it's as easy as jumping on Instagram at the Plant Movement Podcast, shooting us a DM, telling us, hey, send me that questionnaire. It's that easy. That's what Joe did, and here he is today. So, guys, God bless you. Stay tuned. We're going to keep bringing you that fire as always.
Strive for
God bless.
improvement.
Bye.
Time for the blueprint. Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. We've only scratched the surface, know this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.